A country with natural resources and a positive economy now sees how the colonial past generates violence and threatens the possibility of peace and growth. English-speaking regions feel irrespected by the French-speaking majority and demand the creation of a new independent state named Ambazonia. The situation leads us to think that the colonial division of the African countries and in the concepts of nation-state, governability and democracy in a diverse, multicolor and complex continent such as the African, Cameroon, internal crisis, Gulf of Guinea, and the role of foreign powers. This is what we're going to see today. We will also see ongoing news. The linguistic division of a former German colony has marked the future. In 2016, a separatist struggle began in the English-speaking majority communities in the northwest and southwest of the country. In October 2017, the government activated a containment operation of the protests in many armed groups, which left several dozens of dead people. We still don't have strong numbers, but it has been very months of confrontation between the manifest and the government. The re-elected president for a constitutional period of 7 more years, the president, Mr. Biya. Biya is 85 years old and directs Cameroon for several years. He has been re-elected on 6 occasions. He is the longest-standing president in Africa, after the chief of state of Equatorial Guinea, who has governed since 1979. Biya is also very much questioned for his permanently being absent of Cameroon on luxurious cruise and having total support of the old French metropole. This is what Biya said about the protests last November. I want to emphasize that I've considered carefully the frustrations and aspirations of the great majority of the citizens in the northwest and southwest regions. A great number of answers will be provided to your questions and aspirations as part of a decentralization process in course. While the opposition denounces electoral fraud in favor of Biya, such as buying out an international observation group. The principal leader of this sector, Maurice Kamto, who registered 57 points below Biya in the last count, stated in February that this year that he was a legitimate winner. I've received a clear mandate from the Cameroon country that I pretend to defend firmly to the end. I call upon the President to organize a peaceful transition to protect Cameroon from a post-electoral crisis which our country does not need. I call upon the candidates who, with us, have worked for a peaceful change in our country and to stand up and defend, if necessary, the will expressed on October 7th in the ballots. Well, it's an atypical state, result of the union of 2 colonies, a French and an Anglo-Saxon. Let's locate Cameroon in the world map and speak about their potential, which can tell us about its geopolitical relevance. Cameroon, officially Republic of Cameroon, Central African country situated in the Gulf of Guinea and known as the miniature Africa due to its wide geological and cultural diversity. It has sea, desert, mountains, forests, and savannas. On the northwest, it borders with Nigeria, on the south with Gabon, and the east with the Central African Republic and Chad. Its western frontier is limited with the south part of the Atlantic Ocean, specifically the Gulf of Guinea. Yaoundé is the capital city, one of the most important ones, and so as Douala and Garoua. It's inhabited by 200 ethnic and linguistic groups, but only French and English are the official languages. It's a very young population, and it's just a little over 24 million inhabitants. The majority are Christian, but there's 1/5 who are of Islamic faith. In the colonial period, it was protectorate of Germany, and afterward it was divided in French and British Cameroon. On January 1st, 1960, the French Cameroon obtained its independence, and then 1 year later, the other one did too. And they joined together to form the Republic of Cameroon, not free from conflicts up ahead. The north part joined the neighboring Nigeria. It has many oil reserves whose sales represent 40% of the exportations, and favorable conditions for agriculture. This is the base of their economy and leading job generator. It is based on the production of cacao, coffee, cotton, banana, and rubber. This makes Cameroon one of the most exporters of raw material in the sub-Saharan Africa. It also has important mineral resources like bauxite, cobalt, diamonds, nickel. Another economic income is the industry of plastic, textile, chemistry, metal, and wood. This is one of the most relevant in Central Africa, with great reserves that cover 37% of the territory. What is exported goes to China and the European Union. Additionally, there's the fishing industry that offers 20,000 of tons of sea products every year. The rapid rivers and cascades in the south offer the opportunity for the hydroelectric. Among the commercial partners are China, United States, Spain, France, Italy, and Turkey.
Fecha, 7 de febrero de 2019. Es un artículo de la autoría
Let's see
de David Soler, periodista
what
español
David Soler
por la
says.
Universidad de Navarra, estudioso
He's
de
a professor in the University of Navarra.
Y el título que les muestro acá, Camerún, un país para dos colonias. Ahí está en negrillas.
And the name of the article is Cameroon, a country for two colonies. And I find the article I wanted to read. Northwest and northeastern regions of the peninsula has Bacas, a strategic place and of great importance of 1,000 square kilometers, and it's part of the Biafra Gulf, and it contains 90% of the oil reserves of petroleum. They could fill in 24 million barrels of oil. They also have a lot of fish and shrimp. This is why there has been decades of fight with Nigeria to be able to define the border and see who's the owner of this peninsula. At the end of the 19th century, this began right after the Second World War, up until the end of the colonial period. Nigeria invaded the territory in 1993, and this opened a violent conflict, although the International Court determined in 2002 this zone was part of Cameroon. Here we see several maps, and this is what I was reading previously. Let's go to Prensa Latina, that has another report. The date is 23rd of April of 2019. Cameroon says that there's interference of the resolution European about instability. There's a situation of instability due to the conflicts in the regions, English-speaking regions, who want to separate. The Parliament of the European Union stated a resolution that said that the defense forces of Cameroon, and they qualified as an intermission. Emmanuel Sadi, in a French conference, said that the internal affairs, we resolve them inside, and the leaders. He also says that the resolution is plagued with prejudice and lies,
y órdenes acompañadas por chantajes.
And,
y aclaraba que las protestas
and unfair. He also says that the protests are always allowed when they do not affect order and peace. If we see Prensa Latina, we have another article of Julio Morejon. He's a journalist of the Africa and Middle East. What we can see is that for the last 16 months, there were several combats between the troops and secessionist people that try to attack the police and the schools. It's about a group of armed groups that pretend to obtain the recognition of the official Republic of Amazonia. With this objective, among others, they assume the control and try to continue applying it based on a principle of leading economic change, and accused of being a Villa of discriminating against them. This is based on what both communities consider a state nation, which is both a contradiction that appears today,
en ese país donde estamos viendo dos idiomas se superponen a la existencia de más de
2 languages supersede each other of over 230 linguistic groups. Here we have more information, and that way we can put everything in context. What are we going to do now? We're going to add
Sudáfrica, Matuba Maglatige,
our partner in Johannesburg, Matuba Maglatige.
Actualidad que estamos narrando. Matuba.
Well, the conflicts in the English areas of Cameroon have both regions in the northwest and the southwest, and they put them against the French-speaking government. This conflict has not received much international attention, but lately we've seen that the Security Council of the United Nations has started to pay attention of the Cameroon crisis. They started to have a meeting on this crisis because 500,000 people have been displaced in the last months. In 2016, the protests began. It can be seen in every type of democracy. But it became to a more grave problem at the end of 2017 for the President Villa, because he answered in a very violent way to a pacific protest. People were shot from a helicopter, and these forces were also caught on tape. Since then, it is clear that the government has no intention of thinking of the English people's demands. They think that from there, the self-determination movement has begun. Now we see that armed groups are trying to become the leaders of this group. Maybe this might be a future problem for the government of Paul Biya. Thank you, Matuba.
En esta primera mirada vamos a profundizar seguidamente en
let's have another point of view.
Esas tensiones que mantienen las regiones anglófonas, las regiones francófonas y el gobierno.
Of this crisis of these two speaking language colonies.
¿Acaso hay visos de solución temprana?
Let's see if there's any type of solution ahead. And there's a civil war within the Cameroon country that may threaten their peace.
Eso también queremos analizarlo.
That's who we want to analyze.
Ya vamos a eso.
We will be right back. Thank you for waiting for us.
Camerún, crisis interna,
Cameroon, internal crisis, the escalate, the Gulf of Guinea, and the influence of foreign powers. We're reviewing all of these aspects in our critical moves. Let's check this information published by International Press Service. International crisis, humanitarian crisis, reaches alarming levels. It has to do of the silence of the United Nations. It's questioning it, and it quotes several speakers that defend human rights. The needs of unsatisfied of million people that flee from the violence of Cameroon have not given as a result any type of institutional effort of mediation, no great program of help, and meanwhile there's low interest of the media to try to help the civil citizens. This is what the Secretary General of the Norwegian Council for Refugees has said. The collective silence that is surrounding the situation is just as impacting as the stories. El mismo Jan, repito, secretario general del Consejo Noruego para los Refugiados, que está citado, sus palabras son recogidas por quien escribe esta nota que estamos refiriendo. Bueno, y está lo que en 2016 comenzó como protesta contra el creciente dominio de la lengua francesa en las regiones anglófonas de Camerún, se ha convertido en un English-speaking group en el cual has become a conflict where the separatists demand the creation of an independent state. The origin of this struggle goes back to a century. Likewise, we're going to analyze this with our investigator. Cameroon is the juncture of two different colonies which never seem to mix together. It used to be a German protectorate. Afterwards, France and Great Britain received part of it. Most of them are French-speaking. However, 2 of the 10 regions speak English and represent 1/5 of the total population. The English-speaking say that their rights are being violated by the German-speaking part. Afterwards, they both liberate and they join together. The French-speaking goes to the north. However, they too are divided. The northern part of the French-speaking tried to join with Niger. On the other hand, the southern part of the speaking part, the President Paul Biya has tried to get together with them. The South and the North and the last part have joined together. And what they're seeking is trying to separate from the other part of Cameroon. They have a military group of 5,000 people, and what they want is to create a state called Amazonia. They have received military training, and it has been seen that the U.S. supports them. The political wing of this group has a headquarters in Latin America, and although right now they're at peace, but the situation is tense. It's harder with the interests of the great powers. Bueno, fíjense, se incorpora a esta jugada de Telesur sobre Camerún. Now let's talk with our guest of the first analysis block. It's Leonardo González. He works in the International Research Lab of Cuba and an expert in the field. Sobre África y además imparte talleres especializados al respecto. Acá estamos justo en el portal del Centro de Investigaciones de Política Internacional y está más amplia la biografía de Yoslán Silverio González. Yoslán, muchísimas gracias por estar con nosotros. Thank you very much for being with us. Como tantos otros conflictos en África, uno que persiste, cuya solución no parece tan pronta, pero igual le pregunto a usted que es especialista en la materia. I would like to know your opinion on this conflict.
Sí, un saludo, Lucía, y muchas gracias por la invitación.
Thank you very much, Lucia. Thank you for the invitation.
Estamos en presencia de un conflicto que tiene su base precisamente en la división
based on the division
de
África, of a colonial division of Africa.
Y por supuesto también está aquí en cuestionamiento el problema nacional, la nacionalidad de la nación en África, ¿no? Precisamente por las contradicciones entre diferentes sectores. Se ha querido dimensionar el problema como una cuestión entre anglófonos y francófonos.
It has not been seen as a division of French people, French-speaking people, and English-speaking people. However, this is the main divide.
Que está sobre la base de contradicciones políticas muy fuertes entre las diferentes élites que
contradiction among the political elites that are present in this country.
La región esta de Ambazonia, que se
this region, so-called Ambazonia, which is supposed to be a independent country, it's on the border with Nigeria, where there was already a separatist group in the years of 60s.
Y por lo tanto, habría que ver hasta qué punto los actores regionales estarían interesados o no en precisamente fomentar
would be interested in fostering these types of separatist groups. The tendency in the African continent is not to recognize these separatist groups.
¿No? Habría que recordar, por ejemplo, la zona de Casamance en el sur de Senegal, la propia guerra de Biafra en Nigeria, también en Ghana, en el este de Ghana también hay
in the eastern part, there's also an attempt to be separatist
también en el reparto colonial de África, regiones como lo Ogaden en Etiopía, el norte de Somalia. Es decir, hay varios contextos africanos en los cuales el movimiento o las aspiraciones secesionistas han estado presentes. Pero por supuesto, eso estaría en dependencia de cómo los intereses foráneos extracontinentales pudieran favorecer o no la creación de un Estado como la Ambazonia, un Estado mucho más artificial. Por supuesto, la solución sería una solución política. Hay varias tendencias. Unos apuntan al federalismo, otros a mantener el Estado unitario, porque precisamente cuando se independiza este territorio, se había creado una república federal hasta 1972, cuando el gobierno de Aillo en su momento destruye este gobierno federal y crea una república unitaria que después va a ser mantenida por Villa y que va, por supuesto, a fortalecer aún más ese Estado central, ¿no? Por supuesto que se está en cuestionamiento esta cuestión nacional en África, cómo entender la nacionalidad. Pero yo repito que el problema no se puede explicar solamente por una contradicción entre anglófonos y francófonos, porque los países africanos son multilingüísticos,
because the African countries are multilingual.
A veces hasta de cómo los problemas genéticos son fuentes de conflicto, pero no necesariamente.
Not necessarily that is the problem.
Entonces apenas uno de los elementos.
So the linguistic divide is just one element, but is among the most visible, and that would explain this conflict like many others. Very complex.
Joslan, también hemos visto el origen de las protestas, hemos hablado ya sobre eso, exactamente qué pasa en esas manifestaciones, si puedes ayudarnos a construir una valoración sobre el presidente Villa, porque estamos viendo que la gran mayoría de los medios se lo califica de dictador, de tirano perpetuado en el poder. Sin embargo, participa en las elecciones,
but he participates in election, and the opposition speaks about fraud, electoral fraud.
De esta disputa.
Bueno, efectivamente, cuando uno ve la prensa occidental siempre se acusa a los líderes africanos por mantenerse en el poder por tantos años, y eso es una problemática que está presente, cómo se manipulan las elecciones, los problemas de la oposición política.
And the opposition always criticize this, but we would have to remember how
Camerún no solo tiene esta problemática en la zona,
in the south of the frontier with Nigeria,
por ejemplo, el norte de Camerún,
but also in the north of Cameroon since 2019
grupos terroristas
has been affected by terrorist group like Boko Haram, and it also has been affected
la guerra civil en República Centroafricana
by the Central African Civil War and the great refugees waves that have come into Cameroon. And this creates an insecurity environment.
La crisis política. Hablábamos también del petróleo.
We can also talk about petroleum.
Una economía petrolera, pero
this is an economy dependent on petroleum, but it has descended.
Barriles de petróleo diarios el año pasado a
the number of oil barrels that they produce.
Es decir, la caída de la producción de petróleo y el descenso de los precios del petróleo a nivel internacional, pues entonces
the decrease in the oil production and decrease in the price of oil, this also creates a big crisis.
Habría otros elementos que se pudieran mencionar, es decir, los partidos de oposición política. Estamos en un contexto multipartidista y los partidos de oposición política,
political parties that are on the opposition,
todo este tipo de elementos para criticar al gobierno.
Criticize the government.
Este es un país que históricamente ha sido aliado de Francia desde el primer gobierno de Aillo. Habría que recordar que en los años 60 aquí Francia favoreció a este gobierno pro neocolonial contra una de las el partido de los pueblos de Camerún, que era un partido de orientación marxista, y por lo tanto hay una continuidad en todo este periodo de independencia de un gobierno pro-francés y también aliado a Estados Unidos.
And also an ally of the United
States. Habría que recordar que esta región, por Camerún sale la producción de petróleo de Chad con un oleoducto Chad-Camerún que es controlado por empresas transnacionales estadounidenses y por lo tanto menciono que de qué manera, es decir, cómo cambiaría la correlación de fuerzas como para que Francia o Estados Unidos apoyaran un movimiento secesionista en esta
why would the
región,
United States and France support
no
a
se pudiera descartar,
group?
pero no es el escenario más probable.
It could happen,
también
but it's not probable.
Las posiciones de los países africanos,
we should also
no solo
analyze the position of the French
tanto la
government,
CDAO como la CEAC o la Unión Africana, que históricamente se han opuesto a reconocer gobiernos secesionistas de este tipo. Se han habido declaraciones de un autoproclamado presidente de la Amazonia que ha tenido que radicarse en Nigeria. Nigeria lo arrestó, lo deportó hacia Camerún, porque por supuesto un problema secesionista en la frontera con Nigeria reavivaría el conflicto también de Biafra en el sur de Nigeria. Por lo tanto, aquí hay problemas muy interesante. Habría otro elemento adicional del cual no se habla, que es la península de Bacassi, que está también en esta provincia del sur de Camerún, anglófona, y que es donde se concentra una parte de esos recursos petroleros de Camerún, y que esa península estuvo en una disputa histórica con Nigeria. Al final, por mediación de la Corte Internacional, se decidió que la península de Bacassi pertenecería a Camerún. Por lo tanto, si esta región
that it would pertain to
un movimiento secesionista, pues por supuesto esto
of course, if there was a secessionist
aumentaría las contradicciones en la frontera de Nigeria y
add to
Camerún.
more contradictions between Nigeria and Cameroon. There are many elements in the international context
moviendo esta crisis política
that move this
Por eso yo mencioné ahorita de varias tendencias.
That's why I mentioned of several tendencies. There's one of pro-secessionist, another one pro-federalist, and a Unitarian one. These are the three forces within the forces can move inside. The secessionists would like to create this government of this country called Ambazonia, but there's no consensus on the leader. Of course, some want to take again the Constitution of 1971, by which a federal government was established, and that each region would have more participation. There would be another tendency, which is the Unitarian government. And of course, there's a last tendency that is pro-federal, which speaks about retaking the Constitution of 1969. It's important to see what is the posture of the other African governments.
Porque ya avanzas con varias preguntas que teníamos
pendientes, what you're posting are several of the questions we have posed.
Anticipadamente, fragmentada en su liderazgo y con planteos de solución distintos, entiendo la relevancia de la península de Bacassi.
Let's see, what do you think about the peninsula of Bacassi and the resources that it has?
Camerún en su haber. Ahora, nuestro corresponsal Matúa nos decía que durante años
our reporter Matúa said that for many years
la comunidad internacional,
the international community has not paid attention to this conflict, but lately United Nations has paid attention. Why do you think this happens?
Adelanto otra pregunta, ojalá la recuerdes. nosotros planteábamos si una guerra civil dentro de las fronteras camerunesas es una potencial amenaza a la estabilidad del Golfo de Guinea y todos los países colindantes que allí conviven. ¿Eso qué significaría? ¿Qué representaría?
And what would it represent?
Sí, exactamente. Es decir, la comunidad internacional no le ha prestado mucha atención a esta problemática interna de Camerún,
which is an internal problem of Cameroon, but they're not really interested.
En el contexto de las relaciones internacionales. Aquí ahora yo he recordado otros elementos.
I want to remember another element.
De la identidad nacional,
we're talking about national identity,
central
government, but for example,
el
in Spain,
catalán por separarse de España, y
the
estamos hablando de un contexto europeo, por lo tanto esta problemática separatista, secesionista está presente en diferentes contextos, no es solamente una problemática.
It's a conflict that has happened in other countries. It's not only something that happens in Africa.
Moviéndose, ¿no?, en función de respaldar o no
we would like to know if they support or not.
En Camerún.
Profesor Joslam, muchísimas gracias.
Thank you very much, Professor Joslam.
Allí también algunas interrogantes para
Here we're left with more questions to advance to our next segment of analysis. See you soon.
Allí como que no tenemos nuevamente comunicación. Sí. Alcancé a escuchar. Muchas gracias, Lucía. Hasta pronto, profesor.
Thank you very much, Lucía.
Allí teníamos...
There we had, now we have more elements that allow us to go to our next segment. Professor Joslam was stating how the powers should shift to reach an agreement. And who supports who? Other historical allies, and how to force us to shift.
En el horizonte inmediato, pero no habría que descartarlo. Y luego, evidentemente, eso tiene que ver con los intereses. ¿Se está inmiscuyendo Francia en la cuestión interna de Camerún?
Is there an intermission on behalf of France, of Cameroon? And what weight do other countries have?
Última pausa en la jugada crítica.
Let's have our last pause in critical moves, and we will be right back.
Estamos hoy analizando nuestra jugada crítica. Camerún, crisis interna, Golfo de Guinea,
internal crisis in Cameroon,
vamos a ver el conflicto
and how all of the other forces intervene.
De potencias como Francia, que se niega a perder poder e influencia sobre
France does not want to lose the power they have in Cameroon, but in this particular case, they took advantage of how all the institutions helped support this. Cameroon receives support from France. France has been able to use their influence to avoid secessionist groups. It has been supported in Cameroon by the elites, and now they are an ally of France. On the other hand, the situation that Cameroon lives has a consequence in other parts of the continent. More than 20,000 refugees have reached Nigeria. They're fleeing from this conflict and the group of Boko Haram. But lately, the creation of this group, of the creation of Ambazonia, has brought more crisis. Many countries in Africa have these type of troubles. Just like Sudan, that is divided in two and is constituted by more than 200 ethnias. In the division of Sudan, the U.S. government was very much present. And their objective was not to let China invade this country. There are many interests in Sudan. There are other countries like Argelia and Morocco. In Morocco, they're trying to create a new nation. And in this, in the case of Morocco, there has been U.S. support too. Let's meet our next guest. She's a lawyer, and she's an expert on Middle Eastern topics and Africa topics. Let's see, Dr. Isabel, let's analyze. I would like to ask,
esa denominación que algunos investigadores, estudiosos le dan al periodo postcolonial, ¿allí también encontramos razones, orígenes del conflicto?
Is this a historical conflict? Well, I think that in the international context and geopolitical context, nowadays, France has lost,
hablando de Francia o hablando de Inglaterra, en África han perdido
they've lost
colonial
this surge, this colonial surge
la época colonial
that began in the colonial period.
Que dejaron cultura,
but of course they left culture and many signs of their cultures.
De esa cultura o de,
and that it is very much different
o de ese status quo colonial de esos países, específicamente
of those own countries,
de Inglaterra, lo que se refleja hoy en
which is now reflected in the crisis that we have now. Here we have some information. In the case of France, it's the second provider to Cameroon in weapons. In the economic field, they talk to the International Monetary Fund on behalf of Cameroon.
Que más importó Camerún, $682 millones, creo que en 2018, ahora verifico el año. Es decir,
it's a main economic associate, and there's a total support, especially in the military. Well, on behalf of France, we have seen that in this war, there has been a stopping point. Cameroon owes China a lot of money at a high interest rate. And what does this support mean? What is happening is that they support them in infrastructure, in building houses and ports. And now they are in debt with China because they have helped Cameroon to build. But this only favors China. But above all, we see the Chinese investment in ports, especially. With the sole purpose to facilitate the maritime routes toward his other countries or other partner countries. Therefore, the Chinese position in the African position is very clear. We have seen it in Djibouti. We see it in the African Horn. And right now you can see it in Cameroon with the new Bikri Pact. And on the other hand, we spoke about Colombo and Sri Lanka. The investment they have put in the ports is very important. For the US or for France, who are also allies, it's necessary to stop this positioning, this Chinese positioning that supports this government. in a way they don't even think of the internal political situation. For them, it's not that important, the division between French-speaking and English-speaking people within the country.
Sin hablar de estos, de mirar la terminología interna y de la pobreza que, por ejemplo,
if we talk about poverty too,
ha inmiscuido en el país o la parte separatista después
the separatist group has brought up after so many wars of Nigeria and Cameroon,
con Boko Haram ahorita, con la represión
and also with the presence of Boko Haram.
Son dos temas que
there are two topics
del tratamiento, difieren de las alianzas.
That are beyond any alliances. Here we're talking about a Cameroon that is a state in economical growth, full of natural resources,
muy grande, en auge,
and it's growing and has a port
con reserva petrolera y
with oil reserves and other natural resources.
Que las potencias internacionales,
of course, the international powers converge here and they fight amongst each other. Therefore, we see what's happening in entire Africa. And if we're going to compare with Sudan and what's happening in the Balkanization of the north of Africa, to some extent, we see that this separatist movement or the movement of division is a new fashion. And this is in who the interest is of the owners of the world, of the owners geopolitical, economical.
Los colonos anteriores y la China presente.
And now also China.
The
connotation has a declaration of Israel, of an Israel high-ranking official, that to an extent he recognizes the support, the direct support to this government that was elected not so long ago. So now you see an antagonist relationship in this territory with forces are both big.
De propósito y intereses en la zona. ¿Cómo ha actuado el presidente?
How has the president acted?
En primer lugar,
well, in the first place,
si vamos al tapete
if we see that on the political field, that constantly the power is in one way or another is a violation to democracy.
Como un estado integral, se quiere,
as a whole country, what is sought is to have a country that is not divided. So that he used violence against a part of the population to stop with separatist groups. The testimonies were very clear that if somebody understands the Middle Eastern situation, knows how the Israelis and the Mossad operate. There is many internal division within Israel towards the military support to Cameroon. There are some groups who even support the separatist groups. We see this antagonism and this formula of repression. It is important to maintain a state, but within a constitutional mainframe and respect to international law, human rights, civil rights.
Los derechos inalienables a un pueblo de vivir en paz que haya sufrido realmente este asedio. Y decimos asedio que con motivos reales y motivos inherentes a
there are many reasons
inalienables como pueblo que han sufrido
that support these people because of all of the wars they've had.
De los atentados de Boko Haram, han sufrido de la guerra
due to Boko Haram, and the war between Nigeria and Cameroon, this fight just makes it worse. What role does Nigeria play in this conflict? We can see we see that it's just like Crimea. What happened in Belarus? In 1961, by elections, may adhere to Cameroon. This imposition may even happen that favors a little bit more to Cameroon.
De una libre elección de esto de separación o no, si se somete a esta modalidad. Pero en sí, claro que la península
of Bakassi favors
favorece bastante a Nigeria.
Favors Nigeria in this conflict.
Adherido anteriormente a Camerún.
That has
igual los intereses regreso
sparked in the region.
Subraya los intereses económico, la deuda con China, los intereses.
There are many other interests, like the debt with China, the interests of the U.S. government, the French interests in the zone, who is also an ally of the president. Let's see about these interests of the other governments. In this case, we have France, United States. Speaking about United States, who has had their nose sticked here.
Por eso hablamos de antagonismo, de intereses. ¿En qué sentido son antagónicos?
They're antagonic, they're counterpositioned.
Otros países ve que hay una guerra frontal con China.
In other countries, there was a clear-cut war against China, not to get in and support a country that has natural resources or finance ports that may favor themselves. But on the other hand, we've seen that within Cameroon, we can talk about these antagonistic parts. They are being allies to keep the status quo. Although there is this position, dictatorship position, when we speak about the topic of Cameroon, it has not had sufficient observation on behalf of the United States, like it would be dutifully done. Because we're talking about several violations of human rights. There are struggles of internal interests in the zone. When there are countries where it's different from the case of other countries, because this one doesn't have a security council.
Democracia participativa está pintado o es real.
Now it's real.
Llevado a cabo.
It's being carried out, constitutional. So that's why we're talking about the antagonism in all synergies. But at the end, the interest at the end of the day of both the economic interest and China and the rest who have geopolitical interests in the zone get together and hug each other for their own benefit. What are these things that happen? We can think that it's going to be a long-standing conflict? Well, yeah. As we can see, as you can see the elements, the news, we're seeing that there's a struggle, non-conventional struggle. So it's an armed conflict against a regime. So when we're saying that with this struggle, when there is rebels, there's a war of guerrillas. We're talking of a perpetual war, which is not going to be easy to solve unless there is, unless they try unless the English people decide to adhere to the rest or just separate. Thank you very much for your input. Let's talk about the conclusions.
A conflict
that has several years going around and filling of tensions of Cameroon. This country has a colonial history that has had France and the United States as allies. There are many elements in this conflict, one of which is the language division. Because then there are the political contrasts and the interests of foreign powers, which also play a role in this conflict. The secessionist group in impoverished region are able to unstabilize the government. The leaders in themselves do not have a clear solution, a clear position. And this leads us to reflect on thinking, what is the logic of the world powers? Are they trying to take over? Here we finish Jugada Crítica. Thank you for being with us and stay with Telesur. Bye.